And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Thursday, July 7th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories right here can also be found at our other website, IndianCountryNews.com, and here are some of the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Opposing factions of the Little Shell tribe of Chippewa Indians have set up a temporary dual chairmanship and have agreed to hold elections within 90 days. The deal was reached during a June 25th mediation session and announced last weekend. The landless tribe's schism occurred over a May 2009 election dispute, resulting in 2 chairmen and 2 tribal councils. That mediation agreement says that the heads of the 2 factions, John Sinclair and John Gilbert, will be joint leaders as the tribe seeks to win federal recognition and negotiate land claims. Sinclair will serve as the primary contact. Gilbert says it might be best if no current member of either tribal council runs in the next election. He says new leadership would help put the internal strife to rest. Monday, July 11th marks the opening of the Snoqualmie Tobacco Company and Liquor Store and the beginning of a partnership between the Skookum Creek Tobacco and the Snoqualmie tribe. Snoqualmie will be operating that store, and it will be called the Skookum Creek Tobacco Factory Outlet. Cameron Goodwin, GM of Skookum Creek Tobacco, could not be more excited about that partnership. He says the Squaxin Island tribes say they are honored that they have such a good relationship with the Snoqualmie tribe and that they're able to help in this particular business venture. The location of the outlet near North Bend, Washington, is in the heart of an area known for outlet stores. The new store is easy to find, being right next to the tribe's beautiful Snoqualmie Casino. The Coeur d'Alene tribe in Northern Idaho this month plans to start construction of a $17 million community medical center. Officials say the 50,000 square foot Benawa Medical and Wellness Center on the Coeur d'Alene Reservation is double the size of a 6-building complex in Plummer. Chairman Chief Allen tells the Idaho Business Review that the new facility is important because the tribe has grown out of its current facility about a mile away from the current where the new facility will be built. About 8,000 tribal members and non-tribal patients, divided about equally, use the current facility each year. And $12 million federal health care grant is helping to pay for that particular project. And on July 6th, the Ho-Chunk Nation of Wisconsin conducted a swearing-in ceremony of their new president, Jon Greendeer, and other members of the Ho-Chunk Nation legislature. Also sworn in were Susan Weber, District 1, Andrea Estibo, District 2, Elena Terry from District 3, Shelby Byzantine from District 4, Forrest White Rabbit from District 5, and a Supreme Court Associate Justice, Todd Matha. And we have some footage here now from that newly sworn Ho-Chunk Nation Chairman Jon Greendeer, and the entire file is being rebroadcast in the ICTV digital library.
A lot of people keep asking me how it feels, and I guess the best thing I just came up with today is it feels exactly like you think it feels, and more. To stand here is truly a blessing, and while I'm very confident that the experience I've been given over the years and the people that surround me have given me strength to lead the executive branch and walk with the Ho-Chunk people. This place was where leaders stand. People that are bigger than life. Many people have done a lot to make this day come to be. You had a marshal could have been young chacha Kojanega. They got a Huaka Pesa as a China, Again, Pedro, you walk into another, you kind of win, you walk up in the cut, you walk up in it now, it is. Guess it's better to say it like that. I'm not on page 2. Just kind of. You want to take a break? On March 2nd of this year, I sat amongst some of the greatest leaders I've come to know, people I've only read about. In a lot of ways, they've made their indelible mark on this nation. My father, Conroy, Greg Littlejohn, Miss Joanne Jones, Dr. Jeremy Patrick Rockman, to name a few. And I had to look left and right, and I realized that I had to ask myself what I was doing up there. Because these people were so amazing. And even when they spoke that day, it was still amazing. I was waiting for them to screw up. So instead of worrying about what I had to say, I listened to what they had to say. And what they shared with me is something I took to make a part of this much larger campaign, because we speak to many different people in what we do. For that, for those leaders who have done that, I want to say thank you, because whatever you've wished for these people, I hope to be able to bring. Another person of great significance who has also left an indelible mark on the nation and in his entire life have given a contribution that will probably go unmatched, but it is something to work for. My Dega, Nicole Shimani, Alvin Cloud. This was a large race, and there's no doubt my Dega was a profound contender. I don't think anyone wanted to debate with him, because he can go on and on and on. As a matter of fact, just before he left, I went to visit with him, and although things seemed difficult, he was still politicking with every breath he had. Even at that time, when I knew the creators standing right next to him, Dega would ask him to come and be with us. That's the kind of guy he is. I want to acknowledge that. While we celebrate this inauguration, I had to look it up on the dictionary, and I guess it says a new beginning or a start. So, I don't mind big words, but I want to make sure when I use that it's appropriate. But the more I thought about it, the more I think of this day, I think about the sacrifices, not just that we're going to make in our families, but also those who have served. Dan and Larry, Roberta, Kathleen, and Clarence have not only given more of themselves than many of us could ever hope to, but so too has their family. And they make the largest sacrifice for our leadership. One I look up to very much, and I've learned to respect in a way I never thought I could. Our outgoing, and always will be outgoing, president, Mr. Wilford Cleveland. As I stand here in this spot, as I mentioned, I have to be honest and say I never thought I'd ever be here. Because if I did, I'd probably do a lot of things differently in my past. I would have gone to more feasts, carried myself a little bit more humbly, not said anything that would hurt anyone, and thanked more people and asked more questions of those who are no longer amongst us. But I didn't know that. And so leadership is about a desire to learn. And I've learned a lot from Mr. Cleveland as I welcomed him back to the civilian world. And we have a lot of folks as a legislator, a judge, a president, you're not short of any kernels of wisdom from folks. They're always giving advice. But in this day and age, we tend to look to our elders, their actions, what they do. And there's a lot that can be taught by just watching how someone carries himself. Mr. Cleveland has emulated that, a leader by example. And that's something I'm going to try to do. In closing, there's been obstacles in front of me my whole life. And I can't look that way because that's where my wife and kids are. But there's always been someone to tell you in life that there's something you can't do. Go to school, be a better worker, follow this way of life, learn the whole chunk. I want to say that I do try, as President Cleveland, again, by example, says he's not affluent, he does try, and living in Stevens Point, I do work on language every day. And I'm sorry to say I'm half taught by Germans, our language, but I try nonetheless. And I go back to this way, is how the Mike mentioned that our language is our identity. And so that little bit that I can ask of folks is to help me out with the language, because there are a lot of things that are better said in our language. So with that, I want to again focus on those folks who have made that sacrifice already. That 4 years, their families, things they do, watch as they bring themselves and orient it back into a good life. For our upcoming legislators, Judge, the future of our nation, this administration, these appointed folks, I wish us all the blessings and all the positive feelings that this room, our different ways of life, our communities give us, because this is where the strength of our nation comes from. Thank you.
And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country. On this edition of the Native News Update, we want to say thanks for joining with us. Come back again soon.